There we go.
What is up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Honey from Film Nerd TV, back again with another predictions video. This time for NXT Takeover New Orleans, which is the night before the Granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 34, which we'll have a prediction for that one on the Jack of Trivia YouTube channel. Excuse me. This card is actually the one that I'm looking forward to the most of the WrestleMania weekend. NXT takeovers always bring it, always bring the best matches of the year. This one looks no different. I am not alone, though. I am joined again by Nico Suave Regoli. How's it going, brother?
We're doing 2 of these today. How crazy is that? Like, whoever wins that prediction award is going to be very, they're going to have worked for it pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of that, for you guys who don't know, we just uploaded a UFC 223 Khabib versus Holloway prediction. Now we're doing the NXT TakeOver predictions. And at the end of the UFC one, I announced that we are doing a predictions championship right here on Film Nerd TV. But the winner of that belt will be determined Sunday night of WrestleMania, because on this channel, the winner of the belt has to get a majority of the UFC and the majority of the TakeOver predictions correct. So 2 pay-per-view events, 1 champion, Sunday night of WrestleMania. We will find out, and we will crown a predictions champion.
What?
So better choose correctly. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this should be a little easier because, like, we don't have to worry about fate intervening because, like, with fights, anything can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, in wrestling, anything can happen too, but anything that does happen is usually dictated by someone writing a script. So...
all right, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this should be a little easier than what we just went through in the first
I don't know, man. Looking at the card, this is going to be, few matches on here are going to be super hard to pick from.
Fair point. Right. Fair point. I'm looking at the card too, and it's stacked. It's stacked.
All right, so let's begin. I'm going to start from 5 to 1 because they have it on the Wikipedia page. So I'm starting with the non-sanctioned match between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I know you haven't been watching NXT TV for a little bit. So this is one of my favorite feuds of the past, I think, year and a half they've been doing it. It's a long, progressive feud that really started at NXT TakeOver.
One could say it actually started in the Cruiserweight Classic when they had their match against each other in the first round. I believe Gargano beat Ciampa in the first round, and then they shared like this nice embrace where they were both sitting on the ground, consoling each other in a brotherly manner, and then like they got back into the NXT Tag Team title picture after they were eliminated. They came so close on multiple occasions to beating the Revival for the championships, but it didn't happen until, I believe, finally at TakeOver Toronto, I believe?
Yes, I believe so. Let me do a little fact check real quick, though, just to be sure. Go ahead, though.
But yeah, like, so this has been emotional storytelling at its finest. Like, even if you haven't been keeping up on a weekly basis with NXT, you watch the promo packages for each takeover they've been a part of, and then you watch the matches they have at TakeOver. You see the emotion. You like, these are fantastic storytellers right here in terms of in-ring action, and like the journey they've taken us on from like the Cruiserweight Classic to failing to capture the tag team titles, to finally capturing the tag team titles, to losing the tag team titles, to failing to recapture the tag team titles, and then turning on each other when it looked like that was actually going to be their last match in NXT before being called to the main roster. And then all of a sudden, Tommaso gets injured, and we have Gargano going his own way, struggling.
Going on the streak of his life during this time, by the way.
Well, it started out as like a losing streak, and then it became a winning streak. He gets a title shot against Cien Almas.
And gives us one of the greatest matches of the year so far.
Greatest matches probably of all time.
Yeah.
And then finishes it like perfect use of. He sold it perfectly. His moves were great. The back and forth between his wife Candice LeRae and Zelina Vega, that was a great addition. And then losing the match in devastating fashion, and then getting jumped by Gargano and being consoled by his wife, great, Ciampa, being attacked by Ciampa, and then being medically checked on by his wife, standing over him, like trying to push him away. And then like I haven't seen the episode since then, but I do know that Johnny unfortunately got fired after certain events, and so now we're in this position where we are now. We have this.
I want to know how he lost the match, because it does tie in with the story a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead, fill me in.
Well, pretty much it was for the NXT Championship for the fourth time, I believe. Gargano versus Cien Almas. Winner is the champion. If Gargano loses, he has to leave NXT. Gargano had the Gargano escape on Almas, who was tapping out. The referee got laid out. Out comes Tommaso Ciampa, hits Gargano in the back with his crutch, and costs him the championship and his career in NXT.
And then, so then he unfortunately gets fired. Like, there's even a YouTube video of him online with William Regal, very sad to hand Gargano his walking papers. And then, as far as I know, recently, Gargano has sort of been like stalking Ciampa.
He's been attacking him everywhere, from the crowds to his home, everywhere, to get his hands on him.
Yeah, like there's a video of supposedly Ciampa sleeping at 2 a.m. and just his door is getting violently banged on by Gargano. Yep. So, like the story has just been perfectly told, and it's a credit to both guys and how well they do.
What I love about this is I would say it didn't really start in the Cruiserweight Classic. Some could say it did, but I saw that as, hey, we got to do this. This is respect. We still are tag teams, but we have to face one-on-one. That happens in wrestling. Tag teams have to go one-on-one at some point. But you still saw that respect there between them, and that brotherly love. The turning point for me was NXT TakeOver Chicago, when Ciampa did turn finally. The boiling point to me was them coming so hard, working so hard to get the belts, and then losing them. And then the fact, like, in the match itself, the triple threat ladder match between AOP, Revival, and DIY, one member, I believe it was Akam, was going to decapitate Gargano with the ladder, and then Tommaso knocking him out of the way and taking the bump himself.
No, I think you have it backwards. I think Ciampa was the one who was going to get hit, and then Gargano pushed him out of the way and took the ladder.
Maybe it was. I have to go back and rewatch that match, but I think, yeah.
And then that just makes the moment where Ciampa turns on Gargano at the end of the show even richer. Like, this guy just took a ladder in the face for you, and you put him through table and wall after table and wall.
Yep.
Like, my God, that's a heartstring terror right there.
Mm-hmm. And then that's where I really think it got to. Ciampa was continuously, in his mind, carrying Gargano, and Gargano not living up to what Ciampa thinks he should be a great tag team partner, which is really rich storytelling, because you do feel that these guys have been a team for a very long time. They were friends for a very long time, and they're brothers. they've traveled the roads, and they actually put that out there like, this very long storytelling. Even when Ciampa was injured, you still felt that in the back of your mind, hey, this dude could show up anywhere. And then after a match of the year, greatest match of all time in some people's opinion, with CN, then they strike with the story. Then they come back with Ciampa here. And then just adding more, making you feel so bad for Gargano and wanting you to see Gargano get his revenge on Ciampa. And that just, the whole storytelling has been so good from, God, I think, last year to right now? It's crazy.
And another thing, the real life implications here that aren't being mentioned. I'm hearing an echo.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. But I'm hearing an echo on my end. Oh wait, it's on your.
Hello?
I'm hearing my voice through your screen.
All right.
Okay. So in terms of real life implications for this match, like think about where Gargano and Ciampa actually started in NXT. Like when they started, they had probably tagged a little bit on the indie scene, but they weren't official tag team partners. When they first came to NXT, and they were just doing like they were still kind of working on like an indie contract basis with NXT. Like they were just paired together. And like the chemistry just clicked almost instantly between them. So like they didn't start out as a tag team, but in terms of like their careers, they didn't start out as a tag team. But when they came to NXT, they were just paired up randomly, and it worked. It worked, and then they get contracts, and it just continues working for them and working for them. And I believe Ciampa was actually the real life best man at Gargano's wedding. So that real life implication makes the story that much greater. And so this like whether they realized it or not, this story has been money since their debut. Like everything that has happened since then has just been like leading to this point. And it's beautiful how this story has been told. You may talk now, Hunter. Oh, he's getting his audio fixed. I hope I said what I just said in a way that was coherent for everyone at home watching, because like to the outside ear, it might sound confusing. Like, okay, so they came to NXT, but they didn't have a contract. Back then, it was like they were still kind of they had a special deal where they could still finish their indie dates, but come to NXT. They were just paired up together when they both came in at the same time, and it just worked. It worked, and they became the best of friends. Again, Ciampa was the best man at Gargano's wedding, and the wins and losses that they've had since they've been in NXT, it's taken the fans on such an emotional journey. And then, as Hunter pointed out, at Chicago, it finally reached its boiling point, and now we're here. We're here where it's all on the line. The specific stipulation for this match is it's unsanctioned. If Gargano wins, he gets his NXT job back. He's kayfabe rehired. If Ciampa wins, Gargano is banned from NXT forever. So big implications for this match. And if we're finally going to give our predictions, this feels like it's Gargano's time to finally get that win over his best frenemy. Like Gargano has, we've seen it. Gargano has come so close so many times to achieving victory. And it's only happened once, and that was in the Tag Team Championship match in Toronto. So now we're here. He's earned this win. especially considering I feel like whatever happened in the main event, they're going to need a new contender, and I feel like Gargano, they're going to want to set him up as a potential number one contender in the future to that NXT championship. Whether they pull that trigger during SummerSlam time or Survivor Series time, or whether they make us wait another year all the way to WrestleMania 35 season, that NXT belt is going to be around Gargano's waist/shoulder before he goes up to the main roster. Go for it, Hunter. Go for it. You're still muted. There we go.
All right. Sorry, guys. So Nico is going with Gargano. I have to agree. This is Gargano's moment. Ciampa will have his time. He will. But fans are so behind Johnny Wrestling right now. The fans want to believe him. I might get crucified for this, but I see Johnny Gargano as NXT's Daniel Bryan.
He is.
2014.
You're right to think that, because he basically is, if not more than that. Because like Daniel Bryan, he's had some ups and downs on the main roster as well. But Gargano, it feels like it feels like everything has just been. I don't know what point I'm about to make. I felt like I had a point to make, and maybe I'm just rambling. But basically, the premise of what I'm saying is you're right to say he's NXT's Daniel Bryan equivalency, if not more so the ultimate underdog than Daniel Bryan.
Oh, let me finish that thought for you. Every time you feel like Gargano has that opportunity, it's taken away from him, which hurts so much worse because you want to see him succeed. It's all right. Takeover. I guess his match with CN for the title. He came inches away from becoming
centimeters,
and they took it away from us because they want you on this story. They want you to feel bad for Gargano, so when he comes back and rises, it's even better.
And that's where I think the difference between him and Daniel Bryan is because like Triple H knows what he has with Johnny Gargano. Vince McMahon arguably did not know what he had with Daniel Bryan. So that's why Johnny Gargano is arguably a better Daniel Bryan in terms of the ultimate underdog than Daniel Bryan was, because the ultimate underdog story is being told more effectively, more coherently, and the payoffs have just been, or rather lack thereof a payoff, has just been that much greater.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Which is why I'm happy that Triple H has control of NXT, because you can tell Triple H is a man who has worked on the road. He knows the hassle. He knows wrestlers. He knows stories. And that's what NXT brings. It brings great long-term stories with excellent in-ring action from people all over the world. And this match right here, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be violent, but it's also going to have a slight edge of technical wrestling thanks to Johnny Wrestling. I'm going Gargano, and I do agree. I think what they might do is hold off till SummerSlam weekend, which I believe that would be NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, because I believe they're going to Brooklyn again, a.k.a. New York. So I feel like, which we'll get to my predictions on the championship at the end, which I'll bring back to this point, but I feel like they're going to give Johnny the championship at NXT TakeOver New York / Brooklyn, whatever they end up calling it. Okay, so next on the list is the 6-man ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship as Adam Cole takes on EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and the Velveteen Dream.
If I may bring something up, this is going to be Adam Cole's first of 2 matches that night because he is also defending the Undisputed Era's Tag Team Championships in the very next match after that, according to this card. So that's something that should be taken into consideration.
Oh, wow, he is, isn't he? That's right, because Bobby Fish is injured. Woo!
So
right,
there's another new wrench into this whole equation that needs to be thought about.
Yes, there is. So I'm going to go ahead and give my winner. This is really hard. Holy shit, man. Adam Cole's been on a roll. EC3 is debuting along with Ricochet, but we know what those guys can do. Lars Sullivan has been on a tear, and I love seeing him squash people. Lars Sullivan is like Braun Strowman for NXT. He just destroys people, which is fun to watch. Velveteen Dream keeps having great matches, especially at takeovers. His match against Cassius Ohno, I thought was really good, really entertaining. But the match he had with Aleister Black from NXT Takeover War Games was, dare I say, match of the night. And of course, Killian Dane just had a star-making performance in the War Games match, dominated everybody. Shit.
Who you got, man? Who you got?
I'm going with EC3.
Ooh, okay.
Because he made an impact on NXT last week. And I think they show potential in him. Now, I wouldn't be mad at
what's that? He made an impact? No pun intended. Had to do it. It was there. I had to take it.
That was not planned, by the way. Wow, nice. Adam Cole, I definitely think will be in the heavyweight title picture. So will Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan, because I don't see them being mid-carders for too long. So to me, it comes down to Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, and EC3. Ricochet, I do feel like needs a little bit more WWE training before they give him a big title. I love the dude, but he is still stuck in the indie mindset right now. Understandable. He's been on the indie for a little while. He'll get there. EC3 knows the NXT WWE style because he was in NXT before when it was a reality show, aka Derek Bateman. So they don't really have to teach him that much. He's got a great character. He's got great crowd work, which is something that we saw last week on NXT. He played the crowd so well. The dude is hella entertaining, and he can fucking wrestle too. And Velveteen Dream needs a little bit more work. His character work's on point. He definitely has that character down. His in-ring work is fantastic. I just feel like they're going to keep pushing him a little bit more. And I think EC3 versus Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship would be a great first match on another NXT show. So I'm going EC3, but it could go either way.
So I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm looking at the names. So let's go through them again. We've got Adam Cole, a former Ring of Honor World Champion. 3 times, by the way, the most I think anyone's ever held that title. We have EC3, formerly known as Derek Bateman. He's an NXT alum who went over to Impact Wrestling and became he went undefeated, I think, for 18 months and held the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. We have Killian Dane, formerly known as Big Damo. He was the first What Culture Pro Wrestling / Defiant Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. We have Lars Sullivan, who is one of the hottest new big guys to come out of the Performance Center. We have Ricochet, who some of you may know as Prince Puma. He was a former 2-time Lucha Underground champion. And, of course, we have Velveteen Dream, who was the runner-up of the most recent season of Tough Enough, and I think he was the runner-up. I'm not sure. You can fact check me on that, but he's been on a tear since he made his debut, specifically because he gets it. He gets the character aspect of what he's doing, and he goes all in with it. It's perfect, and I see where you're going with this. You think EC3 versus Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship is a money match, and that's why you're going with EC3. I am going the other way. I am going with the Velveteen Dream. I feel like it has to be one of the guys that WWE produced to first hold this belt, and WWE made EC3 a thing before it was a thing, sort of, because Derek Bateman. But Velveteen Dream, he is their moneymaker that they made from scratch. And I feel like he is the perfect guy to hold this title as its first champion. And eventually we will see Velveteen Dream versus EC3 in a singles match for that title, probably at the next Takeover after this.
Let me bring up a point, though. Where was I going to go with this? Oh, yeah. The Velveteen Dream's character is very interesting, though. Because to me, it's kind of a mix of the Goldust, Rick Rude type characters. Which, for him, works so well. He gets the character. But in my opinion, though, Velveteen Dream, while he has solid in-ring wrestling ability, the only reason why those matches are good is because he's got people who have experience carrying matches. Now, I'm not saying that he was carried with Aleister Black, but you're in there with Tommy End. You're in there with someone who knows how to break down a match. And add that on the fact that Velveteen Dream has a great character work, has great mic work. He was able to work with him to make a very, very great match. The point I'm bringing is, EC3 gets it. He has the character. He has the mic work. He's also trained and worked on his wrestling ability. When he first started at Impact, he was okay. But as he went along, his promos got much better, his character got much better, but his in-ring work skyrocketed. That's why NXT brought him back, because they saw the work ethic that he had. So,
that said, what is the point of a mid-card title? It's to give an opportunity to a guy who might not be ready for the main event scene. It's to give them an opportunity to shine and prove that they can be handed a ball, maybe not the ball, but a ball, and run with it down the court. And EC3, he's shown that he can take the ball and run it down the court. So there's an argument to be made that after this match, he might be in the world title picture, for all we know. Whereas this belt is perfect for someone like Velveteen Dream to prove that he can handle having a ball and run with it down the court. Again, I realize what you're saying with like him having faced guys who have been around the block for a long time. That's how he's going to get better. Iron sharpens iron. And with that belt, it gives more. Having that belt, it gives more seasoned veterans more excuses to face him, and so he can harness his craft and eventually get up there to the world title picture. So this is where Velveteen Dream becomes the next big star. This is the first ember that's going to burn.
Yeah.
You muted yourself.
Trust me, I get that, but to me, when you think of the Intercontinental Championship, that's the mid-card belt, but you think of work rate. You think of guys like Bret Hart. You think of guys like Steve Austin. You think of the technical wrestlers, Chris Jericho's, the guys who can have great matches in and out and can carry matches with the belt.
But you also think of guys like Carlito, Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat personalities, the Ultimate Warrior personalities who might not be ready for the main event scene, but this is the perfect way to determine where they stand in the company and how far along they are from becoming the next big main event star. And Triple H, he definitely sees something in Velveteen Dream, and I feel like having him be the first person to hold this title is a great way to determine where on the measuring stick he stands.
Yeah, I get that, but you bring up guys like Carlito and Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat, they could all produce great matches. They could all go in there with a jobber and make that jobber look strong. I don't think Velveteen Dream can do that just yet. He's getting there. And while I won't be angry if he wins, because I do like the character work, I do like his in-ring ability, I feel like if they give him a bit more work, and then you have him chase the North American Championship held by EC3, and then he finally beats him, that would be more satisfying because he won it in a one-on-one situation more than a six-person ladder match. He works better when it's one-on-one, and you can really craft a great match, which I feel like EC3 can do in spades, and Velveteen Dream is getting there. So when they go one-on-one, and if he wins, he's earned it.
I will finish off with this one point. There was a time when Charlotte Flair was considered the worst member of the Four Horsewomen, but they still took a chance on her. They gave her a match with Natalya for the NXT Women's Championship after Paige vacated it, and she ran with that ball, and she is now arguably main eventing WrestleMania this year. So like, if you give someone an opportunity, that they can prove that they can run with that ball and become the next big thing. They took a chance on Charlotte. I see them taking the same chance with Velveteen Dream here.
Yeah, but they can take a chance on him. But knowing NXT, knowing Triple H, knowing what they like to do, give him the belt in a six-person ladder match. While endurance is there, it won't feel like that's such a big deal for the Dream because there is multiple people in there. Accidents can happen. You can tip off the ladder and you can grab the belt. EC3 works better because he's in between right now. He doesn't know if he wants to be a face or a heel. He's right in the middle. But if you want to turn him heel, what you do. Now this is me going into a little matchmaking here, but you have Velveteen Dream hold the belt. Like he is there, and you have EC3 knock him off to hold the belt. That starts a feud between the two, ending in a one-on-one rematch. Velveteen Dream wins at Takeover New York. You set up a mini story. EC3 turns officially heel, holds the belt, and then you have Velveteen Dream chase the championship to finally capture it.
You see, I'm seeing your fantasy booking, but where you have Velveteen Dream, I have Ricochet reaching for that title, and then where you have EC3, I have Velveteen Dream pushing him off the ladder, climbing up there, and capturing the belt there. So then we have a feud to hold us over for like either the halfway point between this takeover and the next one, if not the whole way through, and then maybe we get that match with EC3. I just feel like this is Velveteen Dream's match to win. That's just me. You think EC3. We've pretty much said a lot more than could possibly be said about this match.
Let me end with this, though. Velveteen Dream's not a heel. They're not going to turn him heel because fans are behind him. Triple H understands when you listen to the fans, you get better products. See, people are on the fence about EC3. He can easily be a great heel. The mic work on this dude, the arrogance, the confidence is there. So to have him push the ladder and take the fan favorites, Velveteen Dream's shot away from him when he's, has his hand His fingers are on the championship, and EC3 just comes in and knocks the ladder off. Instant heel turn. And then you can have him brag, and you can have him just put down Dream. Then you set that story going on. EC3 makes a better heel because the mic work is there for him to really make the fans hate him.
We shall see what happens.
We talked about that more than we should have, but...
Probably. Let's get to the tag match.
Speaking of Adam Cole, he is the one who is going to be representing the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy, as the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, takes on the Authors of Pain, Akam Razor, takes on Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. Hashtag, who do you got, Nico?
Okay, so first, for those of you who have forgotten, Pete Dunne is still the WWE United Kingdom champion. That doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, because it's the one belt that WWE lets people defend on the independent scene, and I like that. I like that they have their own independent scene belt. It gives the UK guys something to do when booking has nothing for them. In this case, they might have struck gold here, because Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they just feuding over the UK Championship a few weeks ago or a few months ago? Now they're teaming with each other. They got paired up at the very last minute. Akam and Razor have been on a tear throughout the tournament, and of course, the Undisputed Era, they do their thing and it works. So I feel like the door is open for Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong to shock the world. Pete Dunne will become the very first double champion in NXT history, and Roderick Strong, he will finally get that moment under the sun where he gets a championship under the WWE banner. I feel like it's the team with no current official name, just these two random paired guys. I feel like this is their moment in the sun.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. See, this one's hard because I think the Undisputed Era is going to lose their belts because if Adam Cole's the one doing it, Adam Cole's going to be injured. Especially since it's the next match after the ladder match. But, so it comes down to me between Authors of Pain and Strong and Dunne. I think Strong and Dunne are going to do it. Because if you look, they set it up real nice. The feud between Strong and Dunne over the championship turned into a respect that Pete Dunne has for Roderick Strong. He didn't like him, but he respected him for going the distance with Dunne, which led to Strong needing a partner. First, when he turns to the Bruiserweight himself, Pete Dunne. Very interesting choice, but that respect continues. So what I see is, pretty much it's going to come down to AOP and Strong and Dunne because I feel like they're going to take out Cole, use whatever injury he has from the ladder match against him, and then what I see happening is Dunne doing what he did last week, which was toss him into Roderick Strong's backbreaker into the end of days on Akam or Razor. They walk out as champion and with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic trophy.
And I just want to throw one more thing in there. We both agree on this, on how this match is going to play out. That's obvious. But another reason as to why we think this is going to happen is because what more do Authors of Pain really have to do in NXT? Like, we're coming up on WrestleMania weekend, so usually that means that people are going to be called up over the next 2 weeks after Mania to the main roster. Authors of Pain seem like a good candidate to go up to the main roster, especially if you look at what's going on in the tag team pictures on Raw and SmackDown. We got Braun Strowman and a random guy taking on Sheamus and Cesaro on Raw.
Hey, Braun has a partner. His name is Brains.
Oh, that was comedically beautiful. And of course, we have Usos, New Day, and Bludgeon Brothers on SmackDown tearing the house down week after week after week. So there's going to be a need for new tag team blood. Probably more so on Raw than on SmackDown, simply because Raw just never seems to know what they have with their tag team division. And I feel like the Authors of Pain, if you put the tag team straps on Braun and whoever his partner is, be it Brains or be it somebody else, Samoa Joe, Elias, who knows? Rey Mysterio could possibly be it. That's another rumor I've heard. They're going to, the Authors of Pain, taking on Braun Strowman and a partner of his choosing for the Raw Tag Team Championships at some point. That's a balls to the walls great match. It's going to be physical, brutal, everything you would want. And it just feels like their time in NXT is coming to an end. It's time for them to take the next step in their careers. The Undisputed Era, you mentioned Adam Cole. He's going to be beat up from that ladder match. It's Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong's time to carry the ball in the tag team division at NXT.
Let me bring up another match that would be very interesting. You said if WWE gives Braun and Brain the championships, which I hope it's Braun Strowman, baby. But yeah, that could be a very good match. But what I want to see is the Bar versus AOP for the titles. You talk about Cesaro, a fucking machine in the ring. Sheamus, not by himself, and the AOP, they would have a knockout, drag-out brawl for the titles.
The main thing that concerns me is where is Sheamus's spine right now? Because like there were some rumors a few months ago that he might be coming towards the end of his career. He's not really sure how his spine is doing. Like, he's hanging in there, but he might only have a few bumps left that he can take. And also, like, Braun needs a moment. Braun needs a moment. So it feels like the tag team championships are the moment he needs right now. Cesaro, we already know that he's basically the strongest skinny guy in the business. Like, the man can pretty much press barbells with one hand like it's nothing. He can spin around anyone of any body mass index. So like him and Sheamus against the Authors of Pain, I could see that more as a #1 contenders match because I have a feeling they're going to lose the titles at Mania. Watch Jack of All Trivia later on tonight where we do the prediction bit there. But yeah, basically the point of what we're saying is Authors of Pain, it's their time to come to the main roster. It's Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne's time to carry the tag team titles down at NXT.
On that rumor of Rey Mysterio being his partner, not going to happen. Rey's currently injured.
I was just going by what something Malcolm told me.
I know, but he was supposed to be facing Jushin Liger at Sakura Genesis, got injured, and now whenever he's healthy, it's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Will Ospreay for the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, that'll be money. That'll be money. All right, shall we get to the Women's Championship match?
Yes, we shall. The Women's Championship match as Ember Moon defends her championship against Shayna Baszler. I'll start with this one. I think Ember's getting called up after Mania. She's done everything she needs to do in NXT. I see Shayna winning the championship and then moving on towards that. I feel like Ember's getting called up because the women's division is doing so well that they could use the new blood. And Shayna's been showing that she's a dominant force in NXT and that she could really do a lot with the women's division now.
I don't know if I agree with you per se about Ember Moon getting the call-up just yet, because if you look what they did with Bayley, they had her drop the title to Asuka, and then they kept her around for one more match before finally sending her off. And I believe it was Brooklyn 2, I think. If not Brooklyn.
Sorry.
I realize that they need bodies. I realize that they need bodies to help to help increase the divisions up on the main roster. I just don't know if now is the right time for specifically Ember Moon.
No, like I was going to bring up that at the time the women's division in NXT was very low, so they needed a bigger star like Bayley and Asuka to really hold the championship division. But now that they're bringing up, Shayna, and they have a lot of more bodies they can use that they established, they don't need to keep champions around that long anymore.
That's a fair point, but you also got to remember that in the past year, who got the call-ups? Ruby Riott, Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, and who's the third member of the Riot Squad? I'm forgetting her name. She's marrying Hanson.
Sarah Logan.
Oh no, wait, Ray Rowe, and yes, Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan, yes, that's what I was thinking of. So already 5 women have been called up to the main roster in the past year. I feel like they're good. I agree with you that I think Shayna Baszler is taking this title finally, but I feel like they're going to keep Ember Moon around for just a few more months so they can have that obligated contractual rematch, and then she'll get the call up probably around, if not SummerSlam, maybe Money in the Bank.
All right, so we both agree on that one. This one's going to be interesting. The main event of the evening for the NXT Championship. The champion, Andrade. I'm sorry. How you say his first name?
Andrade Cien Almas.
Take it with Zelina Vega. Taking on my boy, Aleister Black. Whew. I'll start with this one. It's Aleister's time. They've been setting up the streak. They have been, technically he's still undefeated because what they said, he's undefeated in singles. I'd like to see Cien as champion, but it's Aleister Black's turn to take the championship forward.
I'm going to agree with you there. So it looks like the basis of this prediction video is all going to come down to that North American Championship match. But yeah, I agree with you that it's Aleister Black's time. He's money. His moveset is fantastic. He's great in terms of in-ring chemistry. And also, if you look at the pop Cien almost got at the Royal Rumble, he is, I think it's safe to say he might also be main roster ready. I don't know if Zelina Vega will come with him, but he himself is main roster ready. And when you have guys like EC3, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, Eric Young, Ricochet, you have all these guys who might also be main event ready. And also Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. You've got this entire list of contenders that Aleister Black could face to keep him busy, that you don't need to keep Cien Almas around in NXT anymore. And I feel he's main roster ready. It's Aleister Black's time.
Let me bring up this. Aleister Black defending the NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano. The only man to ever pin him in competition.
Another brilliant story that we didn't think about until just now. Because that's how well Johnny Gargano has, and the journey from his debut in the company to now, that's how beautiful this story has been told. Like, I don't know how far ahead the bookers have thought this through, but it feels like they've been thinking about this since like day -5. Not just day 1, but day -5. Like they had it planned out. Okay, here's your 5-year plan. It's going to go, and it's gone so perfectly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you could definitely use that story. Aleister being so, like, wanting to have that revenge on Gargano for pretty much costing him his undefeated streak, while NXT says his undefeated streak is still intact. he got pinned. He was the one to get pinned in that match, in that Fatal 4-Way number 10 match. You can use that as fuel to finally. Now, I don't know if they would want to end Aleister Black's streak, but if they do, what a perfect way to end it with Johnny Gargano beating him.
Is there any point in really having an undefeated streak when like Asuka is like going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody in terms of streaks? I get that it makes Aleister Black look strong, but hey, here's Asuka. She's gone like almost a decade this long now without suffering a loss. I'm saying decade to exaggerate, but no streak that WWE comes up with from this point forward will outpace the one that they've set up for Asuka. So I feel like if they want to end it around summertime with Johnny Gargano, it works. It works.
Imagine the pop if Johnny wins the title.
It would be, the building would explode. The building would explode. Like the sound barrier would be broken by the amount of cheers, applause, yes, yes, yes. Signs would be flying through the air. It would be incredible, incredible. But it all comes down to what we think will happen this Saturday night, which is Aleister Black winning the NXT Championship and Johnny Gargano, kayfabe, winning his job back.
Granted, we could be wrong, and Johnny could be moving up to the main roster. I mean, he could be put on 205 Live to give them more bodies on.
They brought Roderick Strong in for the 205 Live tournament, and now he's back fighting for the NXT Tag Team titles. So even if they brought Gargano up for 205 Live, I don't feel his journey at NXT is over. They waited for a very long time before they finally gave Sami Zayn the call up. I feel like they still have a story that they want to tell with Johnny Gargano, and they're not ready to close the book just yet.
That's another person who I can compare Johnny Gargano's run NXT with, Sami Zayn. Because yes, he came so close to the championship. Sami tried his best to keep winning that belt. Just couldn't do it. Gargano, keep going for the belt, falls short. I feel it's going to end the exact same way with them winning the belt. But I really hope they don't do what they did with Sami and just have Gargano lose the belt the next pay-per-view.
That was more so a storyline victim of circumstance. Like, he got hurt. It happens. You can't things that were out of their control, and now things are so much better planned. And unless Johnny Gargano somehow gets hurt, I see the story following through the way it should have happened between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I feel like Johnny Gargano is going to get his moment in the sun this summer, if not sooner, if not later, finally holding that NXT title over his shoulder or around his waist, pinning Aleister Black for that title. But it all comes down to what happens on Saturday night. Aleister Black has to beat Cien Almas. Johnny Gargano has to beat Tommaso Ciampa. And then the fantasy booking can officially commence. We can finally start that journey to where we think this is headed.
So here's how I see that. I see them kind of doing what they did with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in NXT, but continuing the rivalry between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, which will lead to Johnny Wrestling versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title to blow off the feud.
That's a little too far ahead than I would like to think about right now. Right now, my head is, we have the two guys that we think are going to win those two matches this Saturday, and then the journey begins to this summer where Gargano finally gets that moment in the sun that we've been envisioning for him since last year when Tommaso officially turned on him. I feel like that's where we're going. So let's look at what we have in terms of predictions where we differ. Because I think we differ Let's see here. What we have different rounds for Rose Namajunas. We have I believe you said you were going with Pettis, and I was going with Chiesa. You think EC3 and I think Velveteen Dream. Didn't we differ on one more, or was yeah, I said Felder by decision, you said Felder by second round knockout. So we differ in 4 places, and so that's going to make or break us in terms of the predictions.
And also the tiebreaker is the UFC prelim fights, the main events.
Oh yeah. So you said Caceres by decision. I think I said by third round stoppage. I said third round stoppage. So that's the tiebreaker right there.
No, you said third round submission.
That's technically a stoppage, but yes, submission, third round submission. So there we have it. There are the 5 fights that are going to determine who walks away the first ever Film Nerd prediction champion.
Okay, what do we do if we tie for the NXT ones?
Like I just said, we only differ on one match, and that's the ladder match. So, like, I included that in the list. So we have you have EC3, I have Velveteen Dream. You have Paul Felder by knockout, I have him by decision. You have Rose by first round knockout, I have her by second round knockout. You have Pettis, I have Chiesa, and for the tiebreaker, I have Caceres by submission, you have Caceres by decision. So those are the 5 fights / matches that are going to determine who wins.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Watch. Freaking Lars Sullivan wins. We're both screwed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If someone else wins the ladder match, we're going to have something else.
Yeah, so if someone wins the ladder match, we're going to need to figure something out. Either we both do the punishment, or we let whoever wins the Mania prediction between the 2 of us determine who wins the Film Nerd belt.
Well, we also have one more. We had 2 prelim matches, the fight card and the Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, but I think we both said. Oh wait, yeah, you said Carolina, I said Felice. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that'll be our tiebreaker for both of them combined.
Okay, so we have 6 matchups that can determine who wins, but even then, we're still even. Like what happens if we go 3-3?
What we could do, and I don't think they're going to talk about the pre-shows, we could go over the WrestleMania pre-shows matches.
Okay, in the off, so there are 3 pre-show matches, as far as I know, and if we don't talk about them on Jack of All Trivia, we'll have 9 matches. We'll have 9 matches official. Those will be the tie-breaking matches. Okay, so I'm going to look up the Mania card right now.
Well, one of them is the Cruiserweight Championship match. Mustafa Ali taking on Cedric Alexander. And then both of them are the
Battle Royals.
Battle Royals. Well, shit.
So
you've got 2 fucking Battle Royals in there as well.
Oh boy. Okay, this is going to be a weird night. All right, let's start off with the easy one. Alexander or Ali? Who do you think?
I'm going Alexander. I think this is his time. He's been working towards the title for a while. While Ali had an impressive showing in the tournament, he's going to get his shot again at the title. I'm going Cedric Alexander.
I kind of want to pick him too because I feel like that's where they're going.
Opposite, damn it.
All right, you know what? I'll take one for the team here. I'll go with Mustafa Ali. I feel
Watch,
like
watch, I'm gonna lose. Freaking Mustafa wins. Shit.
because correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he get the pinfall this past Monday in the tag match? So
I don't know. I didn't watch the cruiserweight match on Raw.
So maybe they're teasing that we might get a surprise winner. I'm not sure. Okay, next up we have the Battle Royals. Let's do the women's Battle Royal first. Oh, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say I need to know who's in there.
Okay, so far it's not sure how many people they're going to finish off the Battle Royal with, but 13 people have been announced. We have Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, although for some reason her name is whited out and not in blue. That might just be a Wikipedia error. I'm not sure. We have Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Bayley, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James, and Carmella. So that's 13 people. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being 20, 25, or 30 women overall in the Battle Royal. But
I have my pick already, though.
who do you think? Who do you think?
Based on her showing in the Royal Rumble, I'm going Sasha Banks.
So you think the rivalry between the two is going to carry into this also?
Here's how I think it's going to happen. It's going to come down to Bayley, Sasha. Sasha's going to eliminate Bayley to win, which is going to make Bayley even more angry, which sets up a feud between those two.
Let's see here.
I mean, just to me, it's the logical choice because they wouldn't just let Sasha last that long in the Royal Rumble and not do anything with her. I mean, at least Balor has a match on the main card for a mid-card championship in a match that could be match of the night.
I get that completely. I'm trying to go with like weird Battle Royal logic here. So we remember from the Royal Rumble that Sasha eliminated Bayley when I think it was just like the final four at the time. Then we go to Elimination Chamber. Sasha just kicks Bayley right in the face off the pod, and she gets knocked out there. So what I'm thinking is, this is going to be a return of investment here, in which Sasha gets a little cocky, and then from behind, Bayley eliminates her. The question is, I'm not sure if I'm committed to Bayley being the winner, or if she just eliminates Sasha. So that's where I'm.
I don't think they're gonna do that because if you watch their rivalry in NXT, which I do think they're basing it off of this, Sasha always had the last laugh over Bayley. She always was the one who would get an advantage. What I think is going to happen is it's going to eventually lead to a one-on-one match where Bayley can get her revenge there, which is more better than eliminating someone in a battle royal. Because again, you want to feel bad for somebody, you want Bayley to be a fan favorite. You have Sasha eliminate her from the battle royal, and then you set a feud between those two.
For the sake of going opposite, I'm going to say Bayley.
Okay. Granted, it could be freaking Sonya. I mean, I won't be surprised if Sonya wins it.
I am very high on Sonya Deville, and the only thing that's stopping me from picking her is because it just feels like that's not what they have planned for her at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Now the men's under the Giant Battle Royal.
So far, 14 people have been confirmed for this match. We have Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. The Revival claims that they want to be the first tag team to win this battle.
Yes.
We also have the guy nobody thought would win that battle royal, Baron Corbin. We have last year's winner, Mojo Rawley. We have Ty Dillinger. We have the Woken One, Matt Hardy. Dolph Ziggler. Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Goldust, Heath Slater, Rhino, Zack Ryder, and this is very random, Primo Cologne. Like his name stands out very much among the rest of these names. Just because I didn't think he still had a job.
All right. I'll start with this one. To me, it's down to 2. And it's either Ty Dillinger, which I feel like they could bounce that win off into maybe a U.S. championship feud with somebody, or Woken Matt Hardy, because they are high on Matt right now, especially with the broken gimmick, especially with whatever they've been doing with him, giving him the main event spot with Bray Wyatt. I'm going Woken Matt Hardy to win. I feel like they could continue that momentum that he has with the fans. And I feel like, the work he's been doing with, talking about the DDs and the Andre the Giant's DD watching over him. I just feel like that could be super entertaining that he has with the trophy.
I feel like it's going to be someone who hasn't been announced for the match yet. Because, this is only 14 names. What?
You can't do that.
Why not?
Because we have 14 names. Pick out one out of the 14.
Then what happens when we're both wrong?
Fuck, I don't know. This is a problem having 2 battle royals on the same fucking show.
Damn it. Okay.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Damn it. I don't feel like it's anyone that's currently on the list. If you're going to make me pick someone from the list, I'm going to say Baron Corbin again, simply because he was advertised in a recent Extreme Rules ad, which is going to be in my backyard of Pittsburgh in July. He's supposedly in the WWE Championship picture around that time. So maybe a win, maybe getting the second Andre the Giant Battle Royal win of his career will help propel him. It'll take some of the stank from the Money in the Bank cash in off of him, and it'll catapult him back to the main event scene. If not Corbin, I would probably say, so I have 2 ideas as to who Braun Strowman's tag team partner will be. One of them is Elias, the other one is Samoa Joe. I feel like it's going to be the person that doesn't team with Braun Strowman out of those 2.
Joe's still injured, isn't he?
Yeah, there's some debate as to whether or not he's been cleared yet. Rumors say that he'll be back at some point for the Arab tour that's coming up, where they're having that 50-man Royal Rumble. But I feel like what better way to come back after being gone for so long than to just wreck house and.
You know what? Hold on. I'm changing my pick from the NXT card.
Which one?
I'm going to go Ember Moon over Shayna Baszler.
Okay, that makes things a whole lot easier here.
Because after looking at it, if they're going to keep Ember Moon there, they probably want to keep the championship on her. Shayna Baszler still has a lot to go on. She can still get in a lot of feuds. And then the third match, she can injure Ember Moon to have Ember Moon come up to the main roster at another time.
Okay, so
I don't think Shayna needs the title right now anyway. So
was all this pre-show booking pointless then?
Pretty much.
God damn it! Can I go? Okay, can we say our outros, because I really have to pee right now.
Go ahead.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. This has been This has been the second half of our UFC NXT predictions for today. Tune in on Saturday to see if we're right or wrong. I am the Cosmic Night Fury, the new Ken Marshall's hardcore champion of the world, the former Jack of all trivia wrestling champion, Nico Suave-Regoli. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave-Regoli. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram at Jack of all trivia and Full Metal Media. Hunter, say your plugs.
Holy shit, you have a long plug. You guys can find me right here on Film Nerd TV over at the Jack of All Trivia page. You guys can check out my Stardust, my Instagram, and our Jack of All Trivia channel. You can also check me out on Stardust and Instagram at Film Nerd TV. I'm Hunter. That's Nico. We're Film Nerds, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace, mother effers.